Have you ever really stopped to think about what true wealth looks like? I mean, really looks like. Forget the flashy cars, forget the luxury brands you see all over social media. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful, kind of counterintuitive strategy for building lasting wealth. The art of looking poor. Now, this isn't about being cheap, not at all. It's about building an immunity to what's called lifestyle inflation. And honestly, it might just be the most important financial decision you ever make.
All right, so to really get this strategy, we first have to just completely shatter a huge myth that we're all fed. What a millionaire actually looks like out in the wild.
So, I want you to picture this guy in a parking lot. Every morning, he pulls into his spot, and you just know his coworkers probably think he's struggling. Maybe living paycheck to paycheck. They see his car, and they make an instant judgment about him.
What are they looking at? A decade-old Honda Civic. The paint is a little faded, it's got a small dent in the bumper. It's really nothing special. In fact, it's the kind of car you don't even notice. But here's the thing. The man behind the wheel? Oh, he isn't struggling at all. See, what his colleagues have no idea about is that this man has a net worth of $4.2 million. His house is paid off. His kid's college is totally funded. He could literally retire tomorrow if he wanted to. He chooses to drive that Civic on purpose. And believe me, this isn't some weird exception. This is the rule.
And look, this isn't just a one-off story. The data completely backs this up. An Experian study found that a staggering 61% of people earning over $250,000 a year drive Hondas, Toyotas, or Fords. It points to a really conscious choice. They value reliability and performance way more than some status symbol. You see, one group looks wealthy, and the other group is wealthy. And those are very rarely the same people. And it doesn't stop there. Research from Dave Ramsey's team confirms this pattern perfectly. When they went out and surveyed actual millionaires on what cars they drive, the list was, well, it was shockingly ordinary. Toyota's number 1, Honda's number 2, Ford's at 3. You have to go all the way down to number 6 just to find a luxury brand like BMW. It's pretty telling, right?
So this choice, the reliable Toyota over the flashy BMW, it really points to two fundamentally different paths people take with their money. These were identified in some groundbreaking research from the book The Millionaire Next Door.
So the researchers found two distinct groups. On one side, you've got the UAWs, which stands for under-accumulators of wealth. These folks often have high incomes, but they spend it all trying to look wealthy, which leaves them with a pretty low net worth. And then, on the other side, you've got the PAWs, prodigious accumulators of wealth. These are the people who live modestly, save aggressively, and build a really high net worth. And here's the key. It has nothing to do with how much you earn. It has everything to do with your behavior.
So, which path are you on? Well, the researchers actually gave us a simple formula to figure it out. Just take your age, multiply it by your pre-tax annual income, and then divide that number by 10. That's what your net worth should be, roughly, for your age and income. If your actual net worth is way below that number, you're probably behaving like a UAW.
And this brings us to a really crucial point. Choosing that UAW path, the path of trying to look rich, it comes with these enormous hidden costs that go way, way beyond just the price tag. Over a century ago, a sociologist named Thorstein Veblen coined this term conspicuous consumption. And his insight was so simple but so profound. We often buy things not for what they do, but for what they say about us. A luxury brand isn't really just selling you a product. What they're selling is a signal of status and success.
Okay, so let's put a real number on the price of that signal. Imagine choosing an $80,000 BMW over a $30,000 Toyota. Right there, that's a $50,000 difference. Now, what if you took that 50 grand and invested it in the stock market, earning a pretty normal historical average of, say, 7% a year? After 25 years, it would grow to over $271,000. That is the true cost of that status symbol, that massive future wealth you just sacrificed for it.
But the costs, they aren't just financial. When you advertise your wealth, you literally paint a target on your back. Research shows that affluent individuals are 43% more likely to be victims of identity theft. They become targets for these super sophisticated scams called whaling attacks. And socially, well, it creates this pressure to just keep spending. And it can make it so much harder to know if people like you for you or for what you have.
Okay, so if that's the downside of looking rich, what is the upside of looking, well, kind of poor? It turns out that this path of stealth wealth comes with some serious strategic advantages. They're like financial superpowers.
This quote about Warren Buffett says it all, doesn't it? His famously modest lifestyle isn't just some quirky personality trait, it's a strategy.
By not advertising his wealth, he gained immense negotiating leverage. People just gave him their standard price, not some inflated wealth tax because they thought he could afford it.
And that negotiating power, that's just the beginning. I mean, think about your professional life. You're treated as a peer, not as a walking bank. Your personal relationships, they become way more authentic because they're grounded in who you are, not what you own. It can even improve your family life, helping raise self-reliant kids. But the biggest superpower of all, it's the constant, unshakable psychological security that no luxury good, no matter how expensive, can ever provide.
Okay, let's bring all this home. At its very core, this is all about a conscious choice. It's about developing a mindset that prioritizes long-term freedom over short-term flash.
Just look at the staggering difference this one choice makes over time. Take two people, both earning the same $200,000 salary. The visible spender saves just 5% of their income and ends up with $680,000 after 25 years. Not bad. But the invisible builder, they save 25% and accumulate $3.4 million. That is 5 times the net worth, all from choosing a different path. It's life-changing.
And this is probably the most important takeaway of all. We really need to redefine what success is. It's not about the things you can buy. It's about what you don't have to buy. True success is the freedom, the options, and the security you purchase with every single dollar you choose not to spend on appearances.
You know, that millionaire driving the old Honda Civic? He understood a fundamental secret. Wealth isn't what you show the world, it's what you quietly build and keep for yourself. So the final question is pretty simple. What are you choosing to keep?